Hello everyone, hope you all are fine and enjoying my class. Today my topic is administrative relations between center and states, which is coming under Article 256 to 263 under Indian Constitutional Law. So let's get started. First point is distribution of executive powers. So already in the previous videos we have discussed about like the work should be distributed between state and the center. Center means parliament and state legislature. So what we know, union list is there, which is usually taken care by, this is union list means central list, union and center is same. So this list is to be taken care by the parliament, right? This laws here, whatever is there, parliament used to take decisions, parliament make the laws for the union list. State list is usually taken care by the state or state legislature. Thirdly is a concurrent list, which is taken care by the center and state both. So parliament and state takes the decision together in the concurrent list. So it is very much important to have a separation in work of everybody. Like state should not interfere in the center's work, center should not interfere in the state works, okay? And whatever work needs to be done together by the center and state, that also this part will be done, some part will be done by the state, some part will be done by the center together, okay? Like on means on discussion based on that. So no one should interfere in others' work. That is, a proper distribution of executive powers is required in two, actually means I am talking about the administrative functions. So if the center's administrative powers or functions needs to be performed by them only, so center is not going to interfere in the state's administrative functions. Similarly, center's administrative functions, state is not going to interfere there. It needs to be separate. And also the power of the center extends to whole of India on matters where it has exclusive jurisdiction, that is union list, you know. Just now I said union list is completely, union list means a center list and it is completely taken care by the parliament, okay? And union list is extends to whole of India, and state is like extends to only state, whole of the states, okay? And concurrent is together, like center plus state both will take the decision under the concurrent list. Secondly, you need to keep in mind under that relation of administrative functions actually between center and state, obligation is there. Or what do you mean by the term obligation? Obligation means responsibilities, you can say, or liabilities also you can say. So there are specific liabilities or obligations of the state and the center. Now you know, here the main thing is parliament used to make some laws, okay? Parliament used to make some laws, and this is said like that ki state should exercise his power, state should exercise his power in such a way that they should comply with the law made by the parliament. So whatever laws made by the parliament, if state should ensure that they will comply with that law made by the parliament, okay? If they fail to comply with that law which is made by the parliament, in such cases Article 365 will become applicable, and 365 will become applicable means the President rule will become applicable. So during that time President is having power to take decisions on that particular matter. So this is about the responsibilities or liabilities or obligation of the state and the center. Next is thirdly, center's direction or advice to the state. Definitely there is a relation, okay? What means certain matters or there are certain matters in when the center can direct or advise to the state, actually definitely the state needs that advice from the center. For example, you think in case of construction or maintenance of means of communication for national importance or military importance by the state. So you are not you, state is constructing something or building something or which is for the national interest or which is for the national importance is there or military importance is there. Definitely they needs to listen to the center. So whatever center will tell them relating to that construction or maintenance, okay, which is declared to be a national importance or military importance, definitely the state needs to hear to the center or needs to take advice from the center. Next is proper steps needs to be taken for the protection of the railways within the state. Okay, so center can anytime gives direction, okay, to the state relating to the how they are going to take the measures for protection of the railways within the states. Next is provision of adequate facilities for instruction in the mother tongue at the primary stage of education to the children belonging to linguistic minority groups. So this is very important, like to preserve your own mother tongue. For example, I am from West Bengal, okay, so my mother tongue is Bengali. So now I am shifting to some other state like Maharashtra or Karnataka. So no one can force me to shift from mother tongue to some other language. Suddenly I cannot I cannot adopt some other language of mine. Like my mother tongue I can preserve, that facility I should get. So these directions usually given by the center to the state. And of course there are specified schemes are there for the welfare of the scheduled tribes in the state. So that execution of certain specified schemes also used to be executed by the state on the direction or on advice from the center. Next is there is a mutual delegation of administrative function. What is mutual delegation? Basically, I would like to explain you. For example, I am having certain work. For example, think I am having some homework. Now I am asking my sister, please I cannot do this homework, please do on behalf of me. Okay, I cannot finish it, please do it. So what I am doing exactly, I am delegating my homework to some other person. Similarly here also, center some administrative function, they can delegate to state or vice versa. Or states is having some administrative function, they can delegate to the center. Got it? So that is possible. Like president, they needs to take with the take consent from the state government. So president with the consent of the state government easily can delegate the executive functions of the union to the state. That means center's administrative function can delegate to the state. For that, president, they needs to take consent of the state government and can do so. Secondly, governor. Governor is for whom? State. Governor usually for the state. So governor also can take the consent of the central government and can delegate some administrative function of the state to the center. Such delegation could be either conditional or unconditional. Some condition must be there or some condition may not be there. Okay. And lastly, constitution. Okay, Indian constitution also provides that delegation of union executive's function to state. What does that mean? Center means union and state. Now think, I already said, in case center wants to delegate some administrative function to state, in such cases what happens? President is there for center. President will take the consent from the state government and can delegate the work to the state. On the other hand, if it is the state's administrative function means they wants to delegate to center, in that cases for state who is there? Governor. So governor will take permission or consent from the central government and that can be done by the governor. But constitution, as per constitution, delegation of administrative work can be can happen without consent of the state government also. This first point. I already said na, consent needs to be taken from state government, but in constitution it is written like delegation of union executive function can be given to the state also, means can be delegated to the state without the consent of the state. But in such cases, president is not going to delegate. Parliament is having power to do so. Parliament is having power, only Parliament is having power that without obtaining the consent of the state government also, sometimes Parliament can delegate the administrative function of the center to the state. Okay. But the other thing is not possible. So in here not possible, like governor, here I said na, governor needs to take the consent from the central government, then can delegate the executive function to the state. But here no other option is there, like without consent of the central government they cannot delegate the state administrative function to the center, but vice the other part is allowed, like center can delegate the function, administrative function to the state without consent of the state government. But in that, what is the exception? President cannot do. Parliament is having power to do that without taking permission from the state government also. They can delegate the administrative functions of the center to the state. And lastly, there must be a proper cooperation between center and the states. Okay. See, lot of problems are there or lot of disputes are there which is common for center and state both. For example, some water, river problem, these are common for both state as well as center. So there are many disputes, problems are there which is common for center and state. So during that time, proper cooperation between center and state is required. Okay. So for example, interstate river or river valley, control of water of interstate river, in here what happens, cooperation from both the side is required. This is nothing like like it is your work or this is my river, not like that. So both should cooperate with each other. So for this common interest, like where the center's interest is also there, state interest is also there, there is a common factor. Here president can establish an interstate council. Okay, president can establish an interstate council to investigate or discuss about this common interest between the center and the state. Yes, they should do it with a full faith, and credit will be given throughout the territory of India to public acts, records as well as center and every states, because it's a problem of both center as well as a state. So you cannot give credit to only one of the center or state, you should give to all throughout the territory of India as well as every states. Parliament can also appoint an appropriate authority to carry out the purposes of these constitutional provisions relating to this interstate freedom of trade, commerce, intercourse. Okay, so interstate, okay, within the state, from one state to another state, whatever freedom of trade means, there should be a freedom of trading. Trading means, you know, people are doing business or buying and selling of goods and services. They used to do it interstate, from one state to other state. Here what happens? Here center's interference is also required, state interference is also required. Okay. So here what happened? Both more than 2 states, 3 states, it's their involvement is required. So here what happens relating to these matters, like so that the people can do the freely the interstate freedom of, they should get that interstate freedom of trade, commerce, intercourse. For that, Parliament can appoint an appropriate authority to carry out all these purposes, to take decision relating to matter or to solve the disputes relating to all this interstate freedom of trade, commerce and intercourse.